The engine of the golf swing is established through the pivot. It is the coiling and uncoiling of the body which generates the speed via the arms and into the club head. We need to understand what our body does during the golf swing before we look at the arms, hands and club. When looking at different swings on tour, the function of the arms and club can vary enormously, and a player can still be effective. The body motion, however, has less variances, and once a golfer understands the correct function of the role of the body plays throughout the swing, the easier it is to introduce the arms, hands and club to the equation. The correct pivot allows a golfer to coil, shift and transfer weight efficiently throughout their golf swing. In the address position, the feeling of the body is athletic. The inside muscles of the thighs are alert with the weight centered on the balls of the feet. This allows the golfer to feel their connection with the ground and gives their lower body a solid feeling of stability. Both feet are slightly flared, which allows the golfer freedom to coil correctly on the backswing and make a strong lateral and rotational move on the forward swing. A line drawn vertically down from the center of my right shoulder touches the kneecap and goes directly into the ball of the foot. This line establishes a balance setup between the upper and lower body and gives the golfer maximum stability and readiness. Looking at the spine, note how the lower back is straight while the upper spine, including the neck and head, is slightly curved. This is to take tension out of the shoulders and arms. My feet, knees, hips, shoulders and eye line are parallel to the target. When a golfer misaligns their eye line, it can distort their true aim line and cause the club to travel on an incorrect path. The completed posture from down the line establishes 3 sharp angles from the spine, through the thigh, into the feet. From the back view, note the hip line matches the shoulder line, allowing the left shoulder and hip to be slightly higher than the right, setting the platform for the correct coiling of the body in the backswing. Lastly, it is essential we understand the golf swing has 2 pivot points, not one central point that we rotate around, being the head. A vertical line drawn down from the right armpit into the ground establishes my right pivot post. The same line drawn down from the left armpit establishes my left pivot post. It is these 2 pivot points in which a golfer coils, shifts and rotates around. Your body core is located at a point below your navel, which is the hub of the pivot motion. It is the body core which initiates the move of your pivot motion to start the backswing. It is important to understand the hips make 2 moves, both in the backswing and the forward swing. 1, lateral motion, and 2, rotational. To properly load the right side during the backswing, there must be a slight lateral move of the hips. From this point, your hips and shoulders begin to rotate and the left shoulder moves down and across, so the shoulders are turning at right angles to the spine. At the completed backswing, my upper body has coiled over the resistance and stability of the lower body, allowing me to coil into my right pivot post. My shirt buttons are over my right knee, allowing my back to face the target. The shoulders have turned at least 90 degrees to the target and the hips are approximately half that amount. It is this difference in the shoulder and hip rotation at the top that generates a lot of speed at impact. For example, if the shoulders turn 90 degrees and the hips 45 degrees, the gap differential is 45 degrees. The bigger the differential, the more speed generated and the further the ball travels. My right knee has supported the coil by remaining flexed, allowing the weight to move into the right heel. The spine angle I created at address has been maintained as my shoulders have turned 90 degrees to the axis of my spine. The back view further highlights how my body has moved away from my left pivot point and has coiled into my right pivot post, allowing my whole right side to form a straight line. Here my right leg has remained braced and supports most of my body weight. The transition phase is the make or break stage in a golf swing. It is the change of direction from backswing to downswing and is the point which separates a good golf swing from a poor one. In the correct transition, the body is moving in 2 directions at once for a split second. As the backswing is still completing with the coiling of the torso, the lower body has initiated its forward move. This adds torque and leverage to the swing. At this point, the body weight is shifting forward and diagonally from the heel of the right foot towards the toes of the left. There is a strong feeling of weight pushing down into the right leg as your hips move toward the target. A line drawn across the knees shows the diagonal shift as it points towards the target. Once the correct sequence of the lower body has occurred, the left shoulder moves down and away from the chin so your body can recenter and move laterally towards your left pivot post. As the body moves from transition to impact, the left leg has firmed up and is placed the majority of the weight towards the left heel. The right heel is ahead of the right toe and the right knee has moved forward to the centre of the body. There is a feeling of pushing off the right foot using the ground as leverage to get more power into the pivot. The hips have cleared and are more open to the target than the shoulders, giving the body a very dynamic look through impact. The right heel is raised and the spine angle created at address is maintained. The right knee has worked inward and doesn't extend beyond the toe line. Moving from impact to finish, the trunk and hips have fully turned, pointing to the left of the target. This shows I have moved fully to and around my left pivot post with my weight completely on my left side, feeling pressure toward my heel and my right foot is up on its toe.